my YouTube channel. Last time I showed you what is loop, how to use for loop, and how to use while loop. Today, I'll introduce more about Python. I will introduce what is module, what is function, and how to write your own function. They are very useful and easy to learn. Let's go!
Today, I will cover 3 topics. First is what is function, second is how to write your own function, and third is what is module. In some non-object-oriented programming language, function and method might mean the same thing. However, in Python, method is associated with an object or class, such as name.upper. If you want to reuse a chunk of code, you can write a function to store these codes so that you do not need to write the same code again and again. Then, what is a good opportunity to use function? When you expect certain chunks of code to be used several times through your program, you can put them together inside a function. Then, every time, you just need to call this function instead of repeating the codes again and again. When it comes to function, there are 2 parts. The first part is to define a function, and the second part is to call a function. In this page, you can see a def at the beginning of the line, and that is where a function is defined. You can name any function name you want and allow parameters or no parameters. For the function body, you have to make the codes in the indented block, as in the for loop. Any indented line will be considered the body of the function. Be careful. You should include a colon to define a function. When you use the function, or in programming world we usually say call a function, it is much simpler. You do not need to include the colon, and you do not need to include def either ahead of the function name. Let's take a look at how the function works. First, I assign the value 6 to a variable number because I will use it inside the function. Next, the line with def is to define a function, and I named it print first passage. In this function, the body has 2 lines. The first line is to print out, "Welcome to Python Paradise." The second line is to print out, "This is lesson number." Do you still remember how to insert a value to a string? If you forgot, you can review my Python tutorial number 3. Because my number was assigned as 6, this line will print out, "This is lesson 6." Module is also known as library in other programming languages. Module is a special group that includes functions and variables for you to write useful programs, such as writing games. The only job you need to do is to import this module to your program. Then, you can use this module's function. Let me introduce 2 useful modules. First is time module. In order to use the methods from this module, you have to add import time at the top of your program. Second is sys module. Same thing. In order to use the methods from this module, you have to import sys at the top of your program. ASC time is a method of the time module that returns the current date and time as a string. So, if you print out time.ascTime, you will see the date and time of that moment when you call this time.ascTime method. Let's take a look at the printout on Python shell. As you can see on the left, the blue string shows the date and time of that moment. Let me introduce another module sys that provides a very useful method. Standard input is an object in sys module, and readLine is a method of standard input object that can read a line of text from the user's input. So, if you want to get the user's input, you can have a variable to store sys.standardinput.readLine, and then you can manipulate the user's input such as to print out. So, in this case, if I type test, the screen reads my input and prints test again. Here is one sample code that shows how to use sys sys.standardinput.readline. First, it prints out how old are you. Now, it is waiting for the user's input. If the user inputs 15, then the age variable will store the user's input as a string. So, we format string with %s in the last printout, I am %s. Then, it will print out, I am 15. Lastly, let's take a look at the printout on Python shell. As you can see at the left panel, the first blue line prints out, how old are you? Then, the black text 15 is the user's input. sys.standardinput.readline will then read this data 15 and first assign it to the age variable. Next, this age input will print out I am 15 in the next line.
Congratulations! You have learned about function, module, and how to write your own function. Are you confident now? I will show you more tutorials on how to write Python programs in the future. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time. Bye!